Yo, what is good, gang? It's your boy Dez Reacts back with another great video, man. This is Operation Trent, the largest S.A.S. operation since 1945, November 2001. I never heard of it. This is gonna be pretty interesting for me. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be in the Iraq, Afghanistan type of scenario due to the year. So, man, I already know. You guys already know actually that we love the S.A.S. on this channel. We love special forces, man. These dudes are legit. These dudes are some of the best in the world, man. So I'm super excited for this one. Guys, I have a huge announcement, man. Memberships are now available, man. You guys could join to become a member. You get exclusive emotes. You could check out what the emotes look like in the community page, or just check the pinned comment in the in this video. It's pretty awesome, bro. You guys will get exclusive benefits for sure, like perks of becoming a member, such as the copyrighted content that I can't necessarily post to like the main YouTube page, man. So like the greatest rate of all time, BBC documentaries, all that good stuff that you guys love, man, will be over for the members only videos. There's two tiers to it. There's a gold tier, which gets all those benefits, and then there's a diamond tier. The only difference to the diamond one is you'll get a guaranteed reaction video of your choice for sure. But yeah, man, go ahead and check it out. I'm really excited for this because you guys really wanted the greatest rate of all time, some BBC documentary stuff, all the good and fun big name stuff. Now we can do that, so just go ahead and join, become a member if you'd like. But without further ado, man, I hope you guys are having a great week. Please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, hit the noti gang, and leave a comment on maybe some other videos you guys would like me to react to. And one that gets like the majority votes basically is usually what I kind of choose for this type of situation. But yeah, without further ado, man, let's get it. Operation Trent. And shout out to Liveth Forevermore, or yeah, Liveth Forevermore, man. His quality or his content is great, so let's get it. And the greatest rate of all time will probably most likely be coming out this weekend. I will drop part 1 for sure in the members only tab this weekend, so stay tuned.
In mid-October 2001, just after the start of the US-led invasion of Afghanistan, British troops from A&G squadrons, the 22nd S.A.S. Regiment, arrived in theatre under the codename of Operation Determine. Initially expecting their mission to be focused on high-intensity operations against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, the S.A.S. instead found themselves conducting unopposed long-range reconnaissance patrols in the northwest of the country, and eventually, as the tempo of these patrols decreased, the two squadrons were withdrawn to their garrison in Britain on the 8th of November 2001. However, following the intervention of British Prime Minister Tony Blair to grant the S.A.S. a greater role in the war in Afghanistan, A&G squadrons were warned that they would be heading back to the country a week later. On their return on the 17th of November, the troops received the first indication of their expanded role, when a briefing came through from the Ministry of Defence detailing an Al-Qaeda target in the southwest of Afghanistan. The target in question was a large 5-building factory, which had been identified by US and British intelligence as being a storage facility for opium that was guarded by up to 100 Al-Qaeda fighters who had turned the area into a mini fortress with an array of entrenched positions in the vicinity of the factory.
And man, shout out to the UK, always having America's back in the war, like for sure, and vice versa, man. It's crazy, bro. So it looks like this S.A.S. squad is about to go and take out 100+ people, man. This is about to be freaking crazy.
In the context of the broader mission in hunting down Osama bin Laden, the Americans designated it a low priority objective, as it was assessed that there were no high value targets on the site. The British, on the other hand, believed the factory may contain a substantial amount of intelligence, and were able to convince their US counterparts to get troops on the ground to seize the area. Those troops were to be the men of A&G squadrons, the 22nd S.A.S. Regiment, who were tasked with assaulting and seizing the factory under the codename of Operation Trent. The plan for Operation Trent was threefold, with Phase 1 beginning with the drop of an 8-man team from G Squadron onto a patch of desert.
Okay, so basically, the UK, for whatever reason, needed to get permission to, you know, do this operation. And when he said that, like, you know, the U.S., you know, they finally came to agreement to put troops on the ground or whatever, assuming he's just talking about the S.A.S. soldiers and not like a conventional force at this time, because I'm pretty sure we don't even have a foothold inside the country yet at this time. So it's like all special operations, like that went in first into the Iraq and Afghanistan. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong.
50 kilometers away from the target. This team was to conduct a halo jump from an American C-130 Hercules transport aircraft and mark out a temporary landing zone, onto which the remainder of A&G squadrons, a total of 120 operators, were to be inserted onto by a further 6 C-130s. This airlift was to be carried out in 2 waves.
Bro, 120 operators are about to be on the battlefield. 120 S.A.S. soldiers, bro. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for whoever they're about to fight, bro. Ain't no way, bro, you coming out of that joint alive.
Squadrons have formed up on the TLZ. They were then to drive the 150 kilometers to the target, using 38 Land Rover 110 HCPUs, 8 Kawasaki dirt bikes, and 2 logistic vehicles carrying all the supplies for the ground force. On their arrival at the objective, Phase 2 was to begin, with 4 US FA-18 Hornets and 2 F-14 Tomcats, conducting a preliminary bombing run on the target, which would act as the signal for A Squadron to begin the main assault aimed at securing the factory itself, whilst G Squadron provided fire support from a distance. Once the factory was secured, the third and final phase would commence, with A Squadron collecting any valuable intelligence from the site, before linking back up with G Squadron and extracting themselves from the region. Unfortunately, Phases 2 and 3 were to be conducted in broad daylight, as the United States Central Command made it clear that the 6 US fighter aircraft could only be on station for a 1-hour period at 1100 on the day of the operation. This was far from ideal, but given the rarity of these type of missions and the possibility of the operation being cancelled altogether without air support, the S.A.S. reluctantly agreed to this timetable.
I wonder why the Americans, or, you know, the U.S. Air Force, or whoever was flying these jets, or whoever is commanding them, I wonder why they only authorized them for an hour to help the S.A.S. Because obviously this is a pretty big operation. You know, the S.A.S. doesn't necessarily need the air support like that, because I mean they have 120 of them, but you know, obviously these F-18s, F-14s, man, you know, are gonna give you the upper hand for sure in a battle. So I wonder if America, you know, I wonder if we had something else going on where they're going to need to use those jets, you know, throughout the rest of the day for like another region in the country or something, or in Iraq probably. Let me know in the comments if you guys know, because you know that the air support is huge for these guys, and you know, you just feel that much safer, I feel like, if you know that you have you know, fighter jets and stuff shooting missiles and dropping bombs on the enemy's positions.
By late November 2001, with the preparations complete, the 120 men of A&G squadrons, the 22nd S.A.S. Regiment, were given the green light to execute Operation Trent, the largest mission to be carried out by the S.A.S. since the end of the Second World War.
Oh. That's crazy.
On an undisclosed date in late November 2001, the 8-man Halo team from G Squadron boarded their US C-130 Hercules transport aircraft and took off from Bagram Air Base for the temporary landing zone. Flying for 2 hours, the team made their jump into a remote area of southwest Afghanistan, conducting the first Halo insertion into enemy territory in the history of the S.A.S.
So going into it, man, these S.A.S. troops, the soldiers, they knew that this is going to be one for the history books. For sure. They knew that they were making history by making this jump. They're the first ones to have a Halo jump, because this is usually what, you know, this is usually what the US military does. And at this point, this is their first time doing it. One, they're probably excited. Like, it's probably fun for them, honestly. Like, these dudes seem like they enjoy this type of stuff, else they wouldn't, you know, be in it. But man, so this is pretty awesome, bro. First S.A.S. troops to ever Halo jump.
On their landing, the team began testing the firmness of the ground to make sure it was capable of holding the weight of a C-130, before sending a signal to the rest of the task force stating that they had arrived safely and that the temporary landing zone was suitable to be used. Approximately 14 hours later, G Squadron arrived in the 6 C-130s, driving their vehicles off the ramps and out of the rear of the moving aircraft, prior to the Hercules taking to the skies again to collect A Squadron, who arrived in a similar fashion several hours later. By 0130 on the morning of the undisclosed date in November, the ground force was assembled and driving the 150 kilometers to the target, during which one of the Land Rovers suffered a breakdown and was forced to be left behind with its 3-man crew. Nonetheless, the remainder of the 2 squadrons pressed on and reached their rendezvous point in the mid-morning, from where they got eyes on the objective just below them. However, immediately on their arrival, the S.A.S became engaged by small arms and RPG fire materialising from the factory, as Al-Qaeda fighters who had observed sand being thrown into the air from the British vehicles in the distance were fully alerted to the impending assault.
Dang, man, so their element of surprise just like, you know, they knew they were coming. The insurgents knew that they were coming. And, you know, they got the PKMs, AKs, I'm sure, FALs, who knows what they got. But the good thing is, though, at this time in the war, like, the insurgents weren't very good marksmen. They weren't very good shooters. It wasn't till, like, you know, the latter part of the war, you know, maybe like around mid 2000s to, you know, the end of the war, where they finally got some better equipment, you know, better training for their soldiers and stuff. But yeah, so they're pretty inaccurate, I heard, from what I heard. So I feel like the S.A.S, you know, they're highly trained, great marksmanship, I'm sure. I feel like they're going to be able to do just fine, especially they got air support.
In response, the S.A.S brought their vehicle-mounted general-purpose machine guns into action, just as the 4 FA-18 Hornets and 2 F-14 Tomcats arrived overhead at 1100 and carried out their preliminary bombing run, destroying over £50 million worth of opium and the buildings they were stored in. As soon as
how many pounds of opium?
Overhead at 1100 and carried out their preliminary bombing run, destroying over £50 million worth of opium and the buildings.
15 million pounds worth of opium. That's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot of opium. Oh my gosh, bro. They had $15 million worth of opium in that factory, bro.
They were stored in. As soon as the bombs detonated, the men of A Squadron started the engines of their Land Rovers and drove at full speed towards the factory, under the cover of G Squadron, who remained at a distance suppressing the enemy defences, using snipers, mortars, machine guns and anti-tank rocket launchers. Racing across the desert, A Squadron reached a point a couple of hundred meters away from the objective, dismounted from their vehicles and began advancing on foot, during which several Al-Qaeda bunker positions opened up on the British troopers and temporarily stalled the assault. Realising that A was pinned down, the senior S.A.S commander on the ground made the decision to move G Squadron forward several hundred meters to better engage the enemy, in addition to calling in strafing runs by the Hornets and Tomcats onto the bunker positions. These runs, which came in danger close to the S.A.S and marked the final action of the US air support, were successful in neutralising these strong points, enabling A Squadron to resume its assault.
Yeah, so that's you know, pretty crazy. So obviously the commander on the ground for the S.A.S, he's like, you know, back far. He's probably, you know, not in the main firefight with them, because that makes sense, because, you know, you want your commander alive, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they got to make these tough decisions. Like, you know, they know there's bunkers, they know it's going to be dangerous, but he's like, look, guys, we need you guys to, you know, push up another, you know, like a football field's length, you know, closer to the bunkers so we could engage a little better. And then I'm going to call in the F-18s, F-14s. And bro, that's pretty crazy. And it was danger close, but if you guys don't know what danger close is, that just means like the air support is going to be dropping bombs and shooting their weapons like extremely close to where your position is. So just brace yourself, basically. But yeah, man, that's crazy. And it seems like they took out the bunkers and stuff. So let's see what happens from here.
Moving up to the edge of the objective, the squadron dissolved into a dozen small teams, some of which began clearing out the enemy trenches, whilst others penetrated into the factory and began methodically securing the outbuildings, a process that saw a large number of the enemy be killed or captured, and 4 of the S.A.S operators become wounded in the firefights, although none of their wounds proved to be fatal, and all 4 were safely extracted from the area without further incident. Meanwhile, as soon as the outbuildings were cleared, half of A Squadron fought their way forward to the main compound, which had been identified by British intelligence as being the Al-Qaeda headquarters for the facility. With teams sealing off potential exit routes from the structure, a couple more moved forward and breached into the single-storey compound, where upon storming inside they found no enemy fighters, but instead large quantities of paperwork and electronic devices related to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda.
That's so sick, bro. Special operators like, you know, S.A.S, Delta, just special forces for any military branch, bro. It has like the best kitted gear, bro. They just look so sick. Like you look at them and just be like, all right, yeah, this dude's somebody special, you know what I'm saying? Like their gear, they're not wearing conventional troop armor or weapons, you know what I mean?
Once the building was declared clear of hostiles, the S.A.S began collecting...
Fun fact, one of my buddies, he is a Marine, and he, you know, but he was just conventional force. He wasn't nothing special, but sometimes, you know, they'll have like the SEALs with them. They'll have, he said that S.A.S was with them too, on a couple of occasions, but he said like, you know, he had a stock M4, iron sights, you know, so occasionally they would give him a ACOG. But he said, but when these dudes came, bro, they had all the optics on their weapons. They had like the silencers, they had the muzzle brakes, they had all that good stuff. They had extended mags, they had the good bump stocks, bro. So it's pretty crazy, bro. If you earn the title to become a special forces soldier, you get the best gear for sure, and it's deserved.
Every bit of intelligence they could, while small pockets of Al-Qaeda fighters still holding out throughout the area were dealt with by the rest of A Squadron.
That's so sick. He's
by
just kicking back.
1500, with their mission complete and receiving the news of possible enemy reinforcements en route to the region, the troopers of A Squadron rallied on the fringes of the factory and returned to their Land Rovers, where alongside their colleagues in G Squadron they began to withdraw back to the temporary landing zone. Arriving here in the late evening, they were greeted by a US CH-47 Chinook helicopter, which evacuated the 4 wounded S.A.S operators to an American military base in Pakistan, whilst the rest of the task force re-embarked into C-130 Hercules transport aircraft and were transported back to Bagram Air Base for a mission debrief.
"70 Al-Qaeda fighters were killed, more than a dozen captured." So that's not bad, man. I have a 120-man operation. They know there's over 100 Al-Qaeda people in this combat. That's not bad. Only 4 people got wounded. You know, it wasn't fatal or nothing, you know. So, you know, God bless that. But man, that's a lot of people killed right there. Those boys are elite. Okay, yeah, so they're right. The S.A.S, the UK officials, intelligence was right. There was more, you know, there was good intel inside those in that base. So it seemed like it was an extremely successful mission. That's crazy. Two being awarded the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross, 2 of the Military Cross, and 1 the Distinguished Service Order, and several more being mentioned in dispatches. So what, compared to the Victoria Cross, obviously that's the best one you can get. That's your guys' version of the Medal of Honor for the USA. What is the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross inside like the rankings of it, and what's the Military Crosses and Distinguished Service Order? If you guys know that, man, let me know in the comments. Who dares wins. That's the S.A.S motto, right? Yeah, man, that video is crazy, bro. The S.A.S, bro, they're one of the best in the world for a reason. I have 120 people operating, only 4 got injured compared to 70 killed enemies and dozens of captured enemies. Yeah, yeah, man, it proves that, you know, they're one of the best. And when, especially when there's 120 of them, bro, we seen what a 6-man squad did when they killed like 200 people that were like rushing their little compound, bro. So 120 of these dudes, plus they got help with from like the military air support. Yeah, they're not gonna lose very many battles like that. But man, if you guys enjoyed this content, bro, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, man. Leave in the comments your guys' thoughts and feelings on this. And if you guys want to check out the benefits and perks of being a member, click that join button inside like the video, and you guys will be able to see all that comes with it, bro. I'm excited to do the greatest raid of all time. I've been waiting for that one. And yeah, man, catch you guys on the next video. Peace.